This morning's task is pulling this wall down. It is pretty old, it's a little bit out of plumb, it's completely out of square, and nothing really works in with the new layout that we've got here, so it needs to be higher, it needs to shift a little bit closer in so it's nice and parallel with our new hallway. And it's just so much easier to finish and plane and get ready for plaster when it's just nice new timber. So I've already started pulling something along again here. You can see inside there that it's actually already started to be pulled down, which is so nice when you pull down walls because it just opens up a really big space, and it's very tempting to not put them back up again because you just feel like you've just got this beautiful big open space to your home. But walls do equal rooms, which are very necessary to a home. So this has to go back up again, and of course it will be our new ensuite. So it's nice to have a new finished wall ready to go later on. So let's get pulling some timber out. Now here I definitely need to introduce the man, the myth, the legends whose biceps have their own biceps, my dad. These long chipboard sheets can be quite cumbersome to lift on your own, so we were really lucky to have Dad give us a hand in manoeuvring them into place. We even got him to wield the framing gun while I prepped the next sheet, which was a massive help. So between the two of us for the whole day, we were able to move an entire full pack of sheets, which was about 24 of these 3.6 metre long sheets, all into place from outside, inside, cut and installed, all within a day's work, which is incredible. Otherwise it would have honestly taken me so long and with great effort to do on my own. So it was amazing to have all of this finished all at once. Alright, we are so close to finishing such a huge milestone in this part of the house, which is getting these floors down, and boy, could it not come soon enough. Trying to get out of that ground was just paramount. It was just so dusty, so dirty. The house was always just covered in rubbish, and it's just so inconvenient to have to walk through and do everything through the floors. So getting this part down and getting us really accelerated into the rest of the project has been huge. So, you know, massive day with Dad yesterday, which was just such an amazing help. We are back in the wonderful hot tin shed. Unfortunately, this weekend has been 38 degrees, 39 degrees. It has been an absolute swelter of a weekend, but unfortunately when you get these long weekend times, it's impossible to pass up 2 full days to work on the house. You guys doing renos at home are going to know how crucial a big block of time is. There's nothing you can do on weeknights, but when you get a full day, you can get a lot done. So I've just pushed it out, been drinking ice cold water. The fan's on here, just pushing hot air around the shed. It's been absolutely terrible, but I have managed to build all the inserts for our new windows in the front, in the back, which is really exciting. So of course, exactly like what we did in the front, we're reusing some old timbers that we've taken from the ceilings above our old roof, graded them down using the thicknesser and the table saw, and then making these beautiful little T-mullions here and doing like inner rebates. You see there's all sorts of funny, very tedious rebates, but it means that we're getting this beautiful little cross detail in our windows, which gives us little glass panels to be able to glaze and gives us this beautiful look that we were able to achieve in the front. So I'm just about to put these two together, and with the rest behind me, they're all pre-cut, and then you can see how this looks when we put it all together. So as I mentioned, this is the same detail we used in replacing the windows in the front of our house. Make no mistake, this will take quite a bit of time to set up, but once you do it a few times, it'll become much quicker to build and install. Making these windows for the second time, we learnt to cut every single length of timber all at once, sand the frames in the shed, and lastly fully paint them before installing. Taking on this approach, we genuinely cut down 3 months full worth of work by learning from how we could do things quicker the second time. Here I'm using PVA glue and an air-powered fixing gun to assemble all the individual lengths together. This fixing gun, which is also called a bradder, is perfect for firing really small nails into thin pieces of timber without splitting the material. We've used this gun for so many different applications of our build, and along with the purchase of a small compressor, it's easily one of the best purchases we've made during our renovation. And also, who doesn't love new tools?
Oh. Very cool.
So cut that groove all the way in the side there. That'll help seal the window in once the casement window part goes in. Hinge it on the sides here, and then it'll press into this weather seal, so it stops all the drafting.
Very cool. Very cool indeed. So, the exciting thing is we have some time this week to get the cladding on. It's very exciting.
It is very exciting.
And to get the windows in, which is really exciting. So we've learnt some lessons from last time. What lessons did we learn?
To do way more sanding in here in the shed, rather than physically doing it by hand inside, which was just so painful.
Yeah, we were hand sanding last time, and we also painted the windows once they were installed, which was really fiddly work because, you know, you have to get up on ladders, you're painting in little bits and bobs, and so this time round, sanding everything in the shed with an orbital sander, and also we're going to prime and paint before glazing and putting the walls, or before putting the walls and glazing, because it's going to be easier.
It's so much easier. You can maneuver the window around, you can spin it around rather than having to physically build a scaffold, get up on top of a ladder, up and down. It's just so time consuming. It doesn't really seem like, I guess it's really time consuming, but it's something that takes a lot of energy to complete. So the more that you can complete on the ground before you pop it on, the better.
So these are the lessons learned. It's really exciting because we're actually, because we've done it before, we're sort of flying through this process.
Yeah.
Putting in the lessons we've learned has made things faster, but I also think just being familiar with the process has made things a lot quicker. So we've ordered everything, we've got our glass, we've got the windows made, we're ready to go.
Ready to go.
Hopefully the weather holds up for us. It's forecast for rain.
We'll see that.
But either way, we're trying to get windows and cladding done this week so that we can start moving inside.
Yeah, absolutely. I know, we're coming close to getting skylights plastered.
Oh my goodness.
So it's fun, exciting things.
It's so exciting. There's so many fun things coming up. We've got like cabinetry to build. We've got to build our kitchen island and our bar area and our laundry and skylights and bifold doors. Like there's just so much to come. Anyway, it's really exciting.
Stay tuned.
Let's get going. I'm going to start priming one of the windows. Brad's going to finish up in here sanding and putting some things together, and we're going to get cracking. We're going to get cracking.
So we've primed all of our windows. You can see here that we've got our nice big one all set up. These small little casement windows, fully primed. So now we're just going to go through and give them a nice quick sand with some 120 grit sandpaper, just to get the sort of rough edges down nice and smooth. It's really important that you do that between each coat, otherwise it just bubbles up and you get all that heavy grain come through your paint. You just want a nice smooth finish. So a little bit of 120 over the top does the trick. And then we're going to be using the same paint that we used in the front, which is Dulux Weathershield. Definitely Love using Dulux. It's just an industry favourite for every paint. It's a standard for every paint as well. Of course, there's so many other brands that you can use, and I don't really have any other issues with any other brands, but I do genuinely love using Dulux. And the Weathershield's a really, really great one for external use. So for what we did for the front and what we'll keep doing with the back is using this matte finish black WeatherTex, which is, I believe, just a flat black Colorbond Night Sky, for those who are wondering. Is a really nice finish. So we're going to get going through and do 2 coats of the black on top of our primer, and then we're ready to install them.
The big window is finally finished, except for the bottom strip.
Alright.
Stop the camera.
Oh.
Brad is finishing up the big insert over there. Brad, you'll have to show them. It's become a window painting factory in the back of the house. We're lucky to have the space where we can literally just bring all of the components and just spend a full day painting. So, Brad, show what we've got going on.
So over here we got the big one hanging from the ceiling because it's easy as to paint both sides of this one all together. Samantha's, as she said, just about to finish this one over here, which will be the first one to install, which is really exciting. And then we've got our 2 fireplace ones, which go in those 2 holes over there. It's all happening.
Really excited. Feels like we're in like a windowless box in here. I'm very excited to get some windows in, but they're happening. We're close.
What's happening?
A freezing day.
A freezing day, alright. I know I've got to try and cut this out and then put the glass in as soon as I can, because it's probably going to rain soon.
We always choose the perfect day to do certain
Got a
things.
2-hour pocket before it rains again. Alright. This used to be a window, now it's going to be another window.
We should put a little
gonna look really
photo
weird.
of what it used to look like.
Yes. Here's what it used to look like. And here's what it's going to look like.
How come you're cutting it so high?
Because I want a little bit extra length to play with. I don't want to cut it tight to the opening, so I'm going to have it wrap up to the side of the window.
Ah. So nice to see out again. We've been in a little cave in here.
Nice to have some bloody daylight.
It is actually.
Oh boy.
She's gonna fly away.
She's going to fly off.
Yay! I mean, it looks a bit ugly at the moment, but one day we'll have some photos out
Look
there.
at that trailer full of rubbish.
Yeah. Hooray though, that's exciting. Oh. What is this?
Excuse me.
Excuse me. This is so cool. It's almost like we have a window.
what better time to install windows than when it's raining? Sometimes you can't pick it, honestly. Now the last little bit to go is just glazing these doors. So I've hung them, put the hinges on, getting them to sit there, and I'm just going to tweak them a little bit with some packers around the outsides here, just so they can get nice and straight. That way when I glaze them and the glazing cork goes off, it's going to lock them in nice and square. So now's the time to get a bit of adjustment out of these to get them sitting just absolutely perfect.
The windows are in. There are a few bits and bobs to do. We've got to defect them because we painted them before we installed them. We need to put on the beads, right. Sorry, they're just there, but I forgot what they were called. The beading.
Yeah, we've pre-painted all the beading just so that when we install it and you pin them on, you don't have to then touch them up with a little tiny brush like we did last time. Another lesson learnt, don't do that, it takes forever.
Yeah, so
pre-paint everything.
Pre-paint everything. So they're drying with their last coat and then we'll put on the beading. So it's really only the details now, but the majority of the windows, they are done, they are in, they are installed, we have windows.
We actually finally have windows. It's so nice to have them out of the shed, out of the house, into where they need to be, and now we can finally start doing the setup outside for these windows and get them ready for our cladding, which is the next big part.
The cladding is really exciting because it's the first time we're taking our house from that old original horizontal weatherboard to a kind of more modern vertical look. We did that because we think it looks coastal, a little bit more modern, paired with our kind of traditional looking windows. We're excited to see what that ends up looking like.
Yeah, well, I mean, we ummed and ahed over that decision
Really?
and we consulted every single person we knew.
Yeah.
Ever as to what we should do.
We got mock-ups drawn, we did our best to make the most informed decision, but we've made a decision, we've got some materials, and we are ready to clad. So we will see you in the next one where we clad the back of our house. Bye!
See you soon.